Hello everyone, Tallara here. Welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition, and welcome to Skyhold, the Inquisition's new base of operations. After we were forced out of Haven, luckily Solus led us to this abandoned fortress. It needs some work, obviously. We need to get a roofer in here and some cleaners, but it definitely shows promise. We have a new place to call home. Lots to do, of course. We need to check everything out, clean everything up. But before we do that, I just really need to quickly talk about something that happened in the last episode. So in the last episode, as I mentioned, Haven got attacked and we met our enemy. We found the face of our true enemy, who is Corypheus. And I did not recognize Corypheus at all. I was like, oh, it's a Darkspawn. I understood he was one of the Ancient Magisters, he was one of the more sentient Darkspawn, etc. I didn't realize Corypheus was the guy that we met in Dragon Age 2. And the reason why I didn't realize is because I thought we killed Corypheus in Dragon Age 2. But of course, he didn't actually die. It appears he somehow escaped death. Perhaps his soul does not need to be contained to his body. That seems to be the rumors that I found when I was looking on the internet. But I just wanted to clarify any potential confusion that, yes, Corypheus is in fact the Darkspawn that we met in the Dragon Age 2 Legacy DLC. The one that Hawke's father was helping to keep in prison, that the Grey Wardens had been in prison for so long because they thought they could use him to help stop the Blights. That whole guy? Anyway, same guy. This is Corypheus. So that also explains why Varric put in presumably a call to his old friend Hawke to come chat with us, because if you remember, Varric said, I've got a friend who might know a little something about this Corypheus guy. So I think it's probably Hawke, and all the pieces are falling into place now, and it all makes sense. So just want to apologize to anybody who was confused or was wondering, Tiff, why the heck don't you recognize him? I got it all sorted out now. Before we go talk to Hawke, however, I just want to literally explore the place and chat with our companions and such. This room in here is actually in pretty decent shape. The fire's already lit, the chairs are out. Josephine has been hard at work. She already has her books in her bookcase, sure. Alright, Josephine, looks like you settled in quickly.
I've made some inquiries into the Imperial Court. The sooner we deal with the threats to the Empress, the better. The political situation in the Empire is dangerously unstable. It will complicate matters.
Everything in the Empire complicates matters. It's the Orlesian national pastime.
Turn your nose up at the grand game if you like, Commander, but we play for the highest stakes, and to the death.
The Court's disapproval can be as great a threat as the Venatori. We must be vigilant to avert disaster.
Just get me to court.
I don't care about Orlesian politics. Just get me to the Empress.
Of course, Inquisitor. Celine is holding peace talks under the auspices of a grand masquerade. Every power in Orlais will be there. It's the perfect place for an assassin to hide.
A masquerade ball? Well, that's where we need to be.
We need to attend this ball.
I'll arrange for an invitation at your discretion, Inquisitor.
Okay. We've actually got a codex entry unlocked about the Orlesian Civil War, which would probably be of interest to us. When Grand Duke de Gaspard attacked Empress Celine of Orlais in an attempt to claim the throne, we assumed business across the country would suffer greatly. To counter propaganda suggesting she was overly tolerant of the elves, Celine was drawn to crush an elven uprising in Halimshiral, and Gaspard's attack there destroyed her forces and cut her off from Val Royeaux. She escaped back to the Orlesian capital, with 100 mad stories explaining how, at which point we started closing down the family shops, expecting Gaspard's army to carve a bloody path through the heartlands and up north towards cities loyal to Celine. Instead, the humans have been downright reasonable. We made a killing on furs and silver in Val Royeaux as Gaspard's hold on southern Orlais cut off incoming trade goods from Ferelden. The nobles in Montfort and Valchevin also bought up violets as though their touch killed Darkspawn, apparently. Celine declared that wearing purple flowers was a way for humans to show their loyalty to her. In Ferelden, half of the cities would be on fire, but in Orlais, the nobles make jokes and the merchants just keep peddling their wares, while Gaspard and Celine's armies clash in the dales. The only people really suffering are the peasants, but then that's true enough anywhere. Send extra guards on the next shipment, but save the lyrium for Ferelden. The family's doing good business here as it is. From a letter from Durnal Herrick, dwarven merchant, to his family in Ostwick. So, I'm actually unsure of when this civil war began. I mean, we've been kind of busy with our own thing here, you know, between the mages and the Templars and the hole in the sky and the, you know, this and that. I haven't really had time to catch up on politics, so I don't actually know how long this has been going on, but there is literally a civil war happening in Orlais right now. Grand Duke Gaspard apparently is trying to take the throne, and I guess that's what this masquerade ball is supposed to be, to sort of get some peace talks going or whatever. So that's probably important information to have in our back pocket. While we're in the Codex, we may as well take this time to sort of gather lots of information. I haven't read about a lot of the new people that we've encountered, so let's go through some of these. For example, let's start with King Alistair. King Alistair Theron was crowned the ruler of Ferelden after the end of the Fifth Blight, and is considered a hero among his people for having fought against the Darkspawn as a Grey Warden. He is one of the few known to have ever left the Secretive Order, never mind one who went on to rule a nation afterwards. Some in Ferelden claimed that the Theron line ended with the death of King Caelan, and that the existence of an unknown bastard was a lie imposed upon the people to overthrow Queen Honora. As such, Alistair's rule has been plagued with trouble, both within his own lands as well as with neighboring Orlais. The Blight greatly weakened Ferelden, and many believe that a renewal of the long-standing rivalry between the two nations is inevitable. Well, that's not particularly good news. Luckily, Orlais seems to be busy with its own stuff right now, but... Anywho. Here's a codex entry on Blackwall. I do not have much on Warden Blackwall. We know he became Constable of the Grey in Val Cheven after Warden Constable Fontaine assumed the position of Commander of the Grey from her predecessor. He also bears the Silverite Wings of Valor, an honor bestowed upon Orlesian warriors for deeds of great daring. The details of the act for which Blackwall earned the Silverite Wings, however, are sketchy. Grey Wardens hide their secrets well. The medal was likely awarded for a campaign to secure deep road entrances within Orlais shortly after the Fifth Blight. Several Grey Wardens lost their lives on that campaign. Perhaps more would be dead if not for Blackwall. According to my sources, Warden Blackwall has been traveling alone for several years now. The last anyone saw him at the keep in Val Cheven, it was 937 Dragon. It has been completely abandoned, along with all other Warden outposts. I believe Blackwall is as curious about this disappearance as we are. Perhaps in time we will find answers. From Liliana. We read this one. Now we can read about Corypheus, seeing as I know who he is now. Let me tell you what I know about the Seven, those Tevinter Magisters said to have entered the Golden City long ago. Each was a high priest to one of the old gods. Each came to the ritual shrouded in secrecy, hiding their true name even from each other. They were competitors, you see. The old gods told them they would break into the Golden City and usurp the Maker's throne, but only one of them could sit on that throne. Each assumed a title related to their role in casting the ritual. Some texts claim they had a leader, the High Priest of Dumat called Corypheus. He did not rule this group, but instead conducted it, coordinating their efforts to achieve a magical feat never since replicated. They breached the Fade, walked physically in dreams, and changed our world forever. Perhaps these seven were the first Darkspawn, cursed by the Maker, as the Chant of Light tells us. Perhaps not. One would think these Magisters long dead, but there are whispers this is not so. Think, if you will, what might become of the minds of such beings, corrupted by the blight, cast down from prideful folly, simmering in resentment and darkness for over 1,000 years. Where would such men live? Who knows of them? For someone must, if whispers persist. What secrets do they yet hold, and what would we do should any one of them return to the light? With luck, these are questions we will never have to answer. Fortunately, I don't think that last sentence is very true, because Corypheus is here. But good to know he was kind of the head of all of them, so he's like the most powerful of them all, so that's good to know. Here's a codex entry about Dorian. Only child and heir presumptive to the senatorial seat of Magister Hallward Pavus, Dorian comes from a prestigious line of mages, prominent in the coastal Tevinter city of Canaris since the late Exalted Age. At that time, the Imperium was recovering from a failed Exalted March in the Fourth Blight. Gideon Pavus arose as a voice of reason within the Magisterium. His bloc of allies convinced the Imperium not to descend upon the weakened south, to extend a hand of reconciliation to those who had once sought their destruction. That House Pavus remained standing, even after Magister Gideon was tried for treason, is a testament to the power he built, and, as Dorian himself would claim, an excellent example of how internecine politics, I don't know that word, in Tevinter can bring low even the brightest star. A lesson, he says, one should never forget. So, aka Dorian is basically like a prince back home. So that's good to know. Now we have the entry about Iron Bull. M, my dear friend, I completely understand the difficulty you face. To have such well-equipped bandits attack your family's caravans so regularly and with such exquisite knowledge of your shipping schedules is indeed highly unfortunate. There is no shame at all in finding your household guards wanting in such trying circumstances. To answer your question, when faced with my own troubles last year, I employed the Bull's Chargers. Their leader, the Iron Bull, is a Kunari, a great horned giant of a man. He looked like a savage, but spoke like a gentleman. He seems unstoppable in combat, but is far more clever than a simple swordsman. His mercenaries were costly, but they were both strong enough to protect my family's caravans, and clever enough to discover how the bandits came into such luck in their attacks upon my family. The bandits have been no trouble at all since, and a baron of our mutual acquaintance effusively assured me that he would be greatly surprised if they ever again caused us difficulty. If you wish to employ the Iron Bull, I can provide you with his contact information, as well as a list of the liquors he enjoys most particularly. Will your husband also be present in these negotiations, or will you be making the acquaintance of the Iron Bull in a more intimate setting? If so, we shall have to talk the next time our men go hunting. Yours in friendship, B. A letter lifted from a hidden drawer in a noblewoman's vanity and copied carefully before being returned. We got a codex entry about the Lord Seeker, Lucius. For months we were all certain Lord Seeker Lambert's death was an assassination carried out by mages. He had, after all, declared the Navarran Accord null and void, hurtling us headlong into a war against the rebels. Why else would he be killed, except as an act of retribution? The entire Templar Order was fired up, ready to take up the fight against the mages, something we were sure would be over in a matter of weeks. Thus, the election of Lucius Corrin to the role made me despair. According to the few seekers of truth with whom I spoke, he was a moderate. He agreed to the Divine's conclave, and every Templar I knew felt certain he would compromise to see the war ended. But lately, the man seems different, does he not? I never met him before he assumed command, but even in the short time his opinions on the war have turned. He did not go to the conclave he personally supported. In fact, he seems to regret supporting it at all. He talks of the Templars establishing themselves as a power in our own right, and our fellows are all too eager to listen. I don't know from where this change of heart came, but I begin to wonder if Lambert's death wasn't as simple a matter as we assumed. Something is amiss within our order, and all I know is that it's beyond me to discover what. So that kind of lines up with what Cassandra said, that apparently Lucius was like a good guy. So to see him punch that Chantry sister in Val Royeaux was really out of character for him. So I don't know if it's the influence of Red Lyrium, if it's the influence of Corypheus, but clearly something's going on with Lucius. And next we have an entry about Sarah. This report by Josephine has been defaced numerous times in a different hand. On Sarah, Red Jenny, and Velissima Lady Parts von Knucklefronts. It falls to me to comment on this Red Jenny, for as a creature of the court I must have seen the effect of her actions, although I cannot be certain. Does that make them effective or ineffective? What I know is that she has vexed city's guardsmen across Thetis and always escaped. Accessing all available records, it seems clear that there have been multiple embodiments of the name, often at the same time. The limitations of communication are such that this is impossible to verify in the moment. A crude drawing of a guard with her breeches at her ankles. The severity of the attributed actions vary wildly, from petty to outright vicious. While official reports label these actions unfair, I have knowledge of many named as victims, and several are of suspect character. Sarah would call them something altogether untoward. Yes, Mum, shits, lots of them. There are tales of Red Jenny targeting criminals, slavers, and even assassins' guilds. The benefit of having a local is that they are invested in regional concerns, although this obviously varies. I can discern no protocol. Don't need a title to be awful and deserve it. So who is our Red Jenny? She has been amusing herself in Val Royeaux for some time, although it is clear from her accent that she is deeply Ferelden. She met with outright laughter my inquiry as to whether she had any special elven concerns that I could address. I have conferred with Liliana about the danger of this group, and our estimation is that this incarnation of Red Jenny is, at least, a good distraction. Aw, the scary one cares. Addendum, Denerim. Sarah's claim to have lived in Denerim cannot be verified, but seems likely. The alienage there was neither stable nor secure. Many residents of the city fled the region following the Blight. Given her nature, Val Royeaux would have seemed rife with targets. Denerim has more than its share of suspect nobility, but most were rallied against a common enemy thanks to the efforts of the hero of Ferelden. Forced to, more like. Shits and double shits. So Sarah is quite the interesting character. Sort of like a Robin Hood kind of character, but a little bit more mischievous. Not everything she does is for good, but a lot of it is. It's at least focused on the the powerful who look down upon the poor. So. And last codex entry I want to read. Hopefully my story time is not putting you guys to sleep. Or maybe it is, and if so, sweet dreams. Last up is Vivienne, Madame de Fer. An assiduous and talented scholar, Vivienne rose rapidly through the ranks of Montsemard's circle. When made a full-fledged enchanter, she elected to join no fraternity, a decision that shocked colleagues but may have been a calculated maneuver. When she successfully applied to be appointed enchanter to the imperial court, nearly every fraternity clamored for her favor in hopes of having a representative at the Empress's ear. She was voted first enchanter of Montsemard at an age young enough to cause scandal. The circle wildly regards her as the most shrewd and disciplined mage in Orlais. I don't know if any of you guys are fans of The Witcher, but Vivienne very much gives me Yennefer vibes. Calculated, powerful, well put together, to the point. It's kind of the vibe I get from Vivienne, so she's definitely a powerful ally to have, I think. Alright, now that story time is over, it looks like our next plan is going to be to head to Val Royeaux, go to this masquerade party, and try to get close to Celine to make sure no one's going to try to assassinate her. But before we do, I've still got lots of stuff I want to look at around Skyhold. So, let's head outside. Some holes in the wall, but at least we got a beautiful view. Okay, so this is where we go to summon our war council. I don't want to do that right now. Let's backtrack. Here is Skyhold. I can't get over the view. It is beautiful. The mountains all around us, the clear sky, the colorful trees. It's a pretty good spot, I think.
It's a bloody palace it is.
It's nice, hey?
Fit for a king, eh?
Or a queen. Ahem. But I'm glad to hear other people like it. Hey, Sarah, what's up?
So, Inquisitor. It is Inquisitor now, right? Remember that war we talked about stopping? Full of little baddies I can stick with little arrows. That's not a friggin' archdemon, is it? Gosh, dear, what did I step in?
I mean, I didn't expect it either.
I've apparently been through a lot. But yes, Corypheus was a surprise.
No, a surprise would be, oh, I stepped in dog shite. No one says, oh, a Magister God monster, I'm surprised. Impossible things aren't surprises.
I mean, what's your issue?
You're confusing me now. What are you getting at?
Archdemons, real enough, fine. But if that Coryphe thing is true, the Magisters really cracked the Black City. It's a hazy dream, right? I mean, if it's real, then the seat of the Maker? Real thing. A seat needs a book, so the Maker? Real thing. Fairy stories about the start and end of the world? Real things. It's too far, innit? I just want to plug the Skyhold rubbish so I can go play.
Poor Sarah's having a little crisis of faith here. Do you believe or not?
You joined to help the little people caught up in this. But do you believe or not?
In Andraste? Of course.
But you doubt what you're seeing and hearing?
It can't be true. Even fanatics don't want to be this right. Look, I have arrows. I can make this Corypheus believe in those. Good enough? Please be good enough.
I mean, pick whatever cause you want. I don't care if you believe or don't believe. I just need to save people.
As long as you're reliable when we go Magister hunting, stay for whatever reason you like.
Like don't have nuts to do with it. Not when we're tracking monsters that shouldn't be. What I want is to get everything back to business as usual. A nice simple system with simple problems. Helps me, helps people, helps you. In that order. For now.
That almost makes sense.
You're starting to not sound completely crazy.
I know, scary innit? So bring 'em on. But first, food. I'm starving.
Yeah, I can only imagine what a shock this is when all these sort of tales that you've heard your whole life that you have some belief in, but you don't believe them to a T, of course, because they sound too fantastical to be true. Well, suddenly they're real. That's probably a big shock to the system. I can totally understand what Sarah's saying there. Here, news from Thetis. Haven destroyed by Darkest Menace. Dire news from the Frostbacks. The Pilgrim Sanctuary of Haven, home to the new Inquisition, has been destroyed. Information is still vague, but some believe a dragon resembling an archdemon was involved in the attack. Fears of a new blight are now beginning to surface. As the Chantry continues to flounder, some are concerned that Haven's destruction may predict the Inquisition's imminent collapse. However, there is yet hope, as reports indicate that the Herald of Andraste and Inquisition leadership has survived and have found refuge elsewhere. It's true, wherever you get your news from. Tabloids are true. Hey, Vivienne.
It was a mistake to use Haven as a base of operations. The town was completely indefensible.
I mean, don't look at me. I didn't choose it.
I didn't choose Haven. Cassandra and Liliana did.
Accepting a bad choice blindly is hardly a virtue, darling. You left yourself vulnerable to attack. It was a miscalculation, one that I'm sure you won't repeat. But the enemy struck a serious blow against you and the Inquisition. We must recognize that. You must.
I mean, Corypheus is gonna pay for this.
I'm not going to forgive what happened at Haven. Corypheus will answer for what he's done.
You're angry. Good. Anger can save you when everything else is gone. Just make sure you put it to good use. Our enemy advances, Inquisitor. We must not sit idly by. Act first and teach them to fear us. You can become the leader the faithful require, but you must do it soon.
I'll try my best. It's a lot of responsibility. Hi, Lysette.
Thank you for Haven. Less so for Redcliffe, but I am committed to serve your worship. Okay.
Short and sweet. She's still here, so she hasn't given up on us given up on us yet. Hey, Blackwell.
So, this is Skyhold.
Oh, his beard is so luscious. I just want to touch it. And I don't say that about beards often.
Come, let's walk the ramparts. I want to examine our fortifications.
His beard looks like a soft, fluffy little cat. Just plush and silky.
We'll be able to see Corypheus coming from miles away.
Oh yeah, Corypheus, right, yes, sorry, I was totally thinking about Corypheus, not your beard. We'll be ready for him.
He's not going to get the better of us again.
We lost good soldiers that day, loyal men and women. Let him come. I swear I'll take the twister bastard down, even if I have to die to do it.
Thank you.
I'm grateful for your support.
It's my job, isn't it? Killing Darkspawn.
True.
Look,
your literal job.
In spite of it all, there is hope. The people flock to your banner. They believe in you.
Oh.
Tell me honestly, are you what they say you are? Andraste's chosen?
Everyone really wants to know. Honestly, dude, I don't know.
There's so little I remember. What if they're right?
Does it even matter? Don't you see what you are to them? Without you, they'd be consumed by despair. We all would. They need you to be Andraste's messenger. It gives them hope. The truth doesn't matter. Listen to me talk. Your time is valuable and I've wasted enough of it.
Just walks away. Great convo. I mean, I get what they're saying, that maybe I should embrace this whole Herald of Andraste thing because he gives people hope. I get it, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't want to be something that I'm not. And I don't want to invoke the name of something that I don't even necessarily even believe in. It's quite possible, maybe Andraste was involved, but since I don't know, I'm gonna remain uncommittal for now. Now, let's see who else we have around here to chat to.
How is a place like this ever lost?
Right? It's so majestic. A few holes in the roof, but other than that, it's in perfect condition. Hey!
Scout Harding.
Your worship.
What's new?
What's been going on?
Seeker Cassandra came through here, looking like a storm cloud. That's just her face, though, isn't it?
I was just gonna say, what else is new? Alright, I'll see if I can find her. Thanks for the heads up. What else do we have here to chat to? There's Bull, my fellow Kunari.
Inquisitor, huh? Well, you've got the fortress for it. Speaking of which, when you've got a second, there's something I want to show you.
Yeah, okay, show me now.
What did you want me to come see?
Here, come on. I'll show you.
You've piqued my interest, Bull. What is it?
Why am I dressed like this?
Oh, I got a new outfit.
You'll see. Come on. It'll be worth your time, I promise. Evening. Iron Bull. My merc band just joined up.
Tanner. I'm from Jader. Well, near Jader.
Mira. I was guard captain for Lady Pendel. Signed on after shit blew up at the Conclave. Share a drink? Who's your friend?
This is Grim. She doesn't talk much.
Ah, okay, so this is our disguise so we can hang out with the common people and have a drink. I guess I just won't say much.
So, you ready to kill some demons?
A little
or
grunt.
Venatori, or whatever that Corypheus asshole is?
This isn't just about killing. We're helping the Inquisitor save the world and build the next empire.
Cool. Again, I'm not going to say anything, because that's my role.
Well, long as I get paid, I'm happy. That's why I signed up.
I just couldn't spend my whole life on a farm. Needed to live a little, you know.
What about you, Mira? Why'd you join up? I thought you were serving some noble.
I saw what happened at Haven. The Inquisitor staring down that monster and his archdemon. I don't think the chant of light as much as I should. But you can't see something like that and not believe.
Well, Grim and I should find our tents. Thanks for the drink. I know every soldier under my command. You don't have that option, but a few faces might help.
Oh, that was good. Thank you. It was nice to, yeah, actually talk to the common people and like that.
It was good to get their perspective.
Yeah. Sounds like we could use an easy win for boys like Tanner. And vets like Mira have seen enough to be wary. You've got a good army coming along. Remember that. No matter what comes next.
Again, I'm just always so stricken by Bull's intelligence. He's literally the definition of don't judge a book by its cover. He looks big and surly and strong, and he is those things, but he's also very perceptive and intelligent and kind underneath, so... I like Bull a lot. I know it's early on, but I'm leaning towards romancing Bull. If not only for the Kunari connection, I also just really like him, so... We'll see how we go, and if we have any sparks flying between us, but in the meantime, I see sparks flying over here at Cassandra beating up these poor dummies.
Have you met this friend of Barrick's, Inquisitor?
Not yet.
Not yet, no.
It had better not be who I think it is. I will wring that little bastard's neck.
Who do you think it is?
Why? Who do you think it is?
Someone Varric claimed he could not contact. Someone the Inquisition, indeed all of Thedas, desperately needed. I'll reserve judgment until I know for certain. No need to have that rogue screaming persecution yet again.
Alright. Well, I should probably actually go find out who it is. I think we're both thinking it's the same person, Hawk, but let's go find out for ourselves.
That's enough for now.
Another time, then.
He said he's up on the wall. Let me just check the map here. He's, Cullen, Sarah, Blackwall, Vivienne. I actually don't see him on the map. Oh, that's because he's up. More room. Undercroft. Liana Solus, Dorian. No, I still don't see Varric. Let's see, if we just go to our quest log. There. I'm gonna set active. We can just follow the little quest marker. Okay, he's right up there. Aha, I see Varric. Hey Varric, where's your friend? Ah, cool, you get a choice here. So you either get to use the default champion of Kirkwall or a custom champion of Kirkwall. So we actually made our champion of Kirkwall, Hawk, be the default. I actually really like the default look. for Hawk. So we actually don't need to customize him at all. He should, if we just hit default, it should look like our Hawk. So let's click.
Inquisitor, meet Hawk.
Hey, there he is!
Though I don't use that title much anymore.
It's so cool to see him.
Hawk, the Inquisitor. I figured you might have some friendly advice about Corypheus. You and I did fight him after all.
He's looking a little more scruffy on his beard.
This view reminds me of my home in Kirkwall. I had a balcony that overlooked the whole city. I loved it at first. But after a while, all I could see were the people out there depending on me.
I know how that feels.
You're lucky it was just a single city. I've got half of Thedas.
You're doing everything you can to protect them.
Does it ever get any easier?
I'll let you know. I don't envy you, Inquisitor. But I may be able to help you.
Varric said that you fought Corypheus before.
Fought and killed. The Grey Wardens were holding him, and he somehow used his connection to the Darkspawn to influence them.
Corypheus got into their heads, messed with their minds, turned them against each other.
If the Wardens have disappeared, they could have fallen under his control again.
I hate to comment on someone's appearance. I say that these people aren't even real, and I feel bad about commenting on their appearance. But Hawk does not look as good as he did in Dragon Age 2, and perhaps that's on purpose, and they're making it seem like, well, he doesn't live a comfortable life anymore, he kind of lives on the run. But he's all, like, scraggly. I don't know, he's not my handsome Hawk I remember. Let's say, that's not good. If the Wardens are nurse controlled, it's definitely not good.
So Corypheus has the Venatori, the Red Templars, and now possibly the Wardens as well? Wonderful.
I didn't come this far just to give you bad news. I've got a friend in the Wardens. He was investigating something unrelated for me. His name is Stroud. The last time we spoke, he was worried about corruption in the Warden ranks. Since then, nothing.
Corypheus would certainly qualify as corruption in the ranks. Did your friend disappear with them?
No. He told me he'd be hiding in an old smuggler's cave near Crestwood.
What were you investigating?
If you didn't know about Corypheus, what were you doing with the Wardens?
The Templars in Kirkwall were using a strange form of lyrium. It was red. I'd hoped the Wardens could tell me more about it.
Corypheus had Templars with him at Haven. They looked like they'd been exposed to the lyrium you describe.
Hopefully my friend in the Wardens will know more.
It's worth a shot.
I'll take any lead I can get at the moment.
Good. I'll do whatever I can to help. Corypheus is my responsibility. I thought I'd killed him before. This time, I'll make sure of it.
That is so cool. I gotta say, I think it is very cool that we get to meet Hawk, and because I imported my decisions, you can see he's actually in his endgame rogue armor, which is exactly what we had when we played. So we gotta ask him a bunch of questions. We'll start with, why are you alone? Where are your friends? Where is Fenris, your lover?
I heard you had family and friends in Kirkwall. Where are they now?
When the Wardens began acting strangely, I had my friend Aveline take my sister out of the Free Marches. Fenris would have killed himself to protect me. I didn't want to give him that chance.
Oh, okay, so it sounds like they're still together, that's good, and Bethany and Aveline are safe, also good. What has Varric told you?
I assume Varric's been feeding you information about the Inquisition. What did he say about me?
Only good things, I promise. I was a little surprised, actually. Varric isn't one for religion in general, but he thinks highly of the Inquisition. I think the exact phrase was, has a good shot at fixing Blondie's mess.
That was a good impersonation. So you fought Corypheus?
You said you thought you killed Corypheus?
The Grey Wardens had him imprisoned. They used my father's blood in a ritual to seal Corypheus inside. But he could still reach out and influence the Warden's thoughts. He sent them after me. And I didn't just think I killed him. When the fight was done, he was dead on the ground. Maybe his tie to the Blight somehow brought him back. Or maybe it's old Tevinter magic. But he was dead. I swear it.
See, even Hawk is just as confused as I was. I thought he was dead too, hence I didn't make the connection, so good to know it's not just me. Where have you been?
Where did you go after the mages rebelled?
I heard the Chantry might be sending an exalted march to Kirkwall to put down the rebellion. I hoped that leaving would save lives and force the Divine to divide her forces to come after me. As it turned out, I needn't have bothered. All the circles started rising up, and the exalted march never came.
Tell me about Anders.
I'd like to know more about Anders. What was he like?
I don't know if there ever was just Anders. He was crazy. By the end, there was nothing left in him except this insane need to start a war no one could win.
Alright, well, that's all my questions, I think.
We'll talk later.
I'll meet you at Crestwood.
Awesome. Well, we got Hawk on board, and he's given us a lead. Cassandra is going to be quite mad at Varric, but quite excited to meet Hawk, I think. So, yeah. Now, I guess our only option from here is to head to the war table and catch up with our advisors and choose our plan of attack, right? Whether it's the Masquerade Ball or the Warden Hunt first. Oh, on our way to the war room, I stopped in here, and I guess this is Solus's little study. Looks like he's claimed it as his own, so let's check in with him as well. No, get back here. Solus. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Tell me about Corypheus.
I need to know more about Corypheus.
We spoke of this on our travels to Skyhold. What more can I tell you? Cassandra and Varric seem more familiar with their adversary.
I mean, I'll ask them too.
Well, I'll take advice from just about anyone right now.
I'm flattered. I claim no secret wisdom, but I will guess as best I can.
Okay, tell me about his orb.
I would like to know more about the orb he carries.
As I said, that must be the means by which he created the breach. I suspect the blast that destroyed the Conclave was more accident than anything. The result of unlocking power that had sought release for ages. What I cannot understand is how he managed to survive such an explosion.
The orb is Elven?
You said that you believe the orb is Elven.
I never would have believed a Devinter mage could unlock such a powerful relic. It clearly enhances his abilities, giving him access to power he should never have known.
Like the power to control the Archdemon.
Indirectly, one assumes. Nothing in any law connects my people to the old god dragons who became archdemons.
What will he do next?
What do you think Corypheus will do next?
You shamed him when you destroyed Haven. Spoiled his glorious victory. It would be worse to acknowledge that you had done so. He must continue on his course or show weakness. He will return to his plans to throw Olay into chaos, and then conquer it for Devinter.
You're certain?
You're sure that's what he'll do?
As certain as is possible. Assuming I can plausibly predict a man who seeks to rise to godhood.
And can you?
The key is understanding this. No real god need prove himself. Anyone who tries is mad or lying. His deception will undo him, as it has done countless fools before.
What's his power base?
What can you tell me about the source of Corypheus's power?
According to the law, the ancient Magistars of Devinter received guidance from the old gods. Corypheus commands a false archdemon, a corrupted old god. This suggests he no longer sees himself as their minion. Some of his unique power comes from the corruption of the blight. The rest may come from the orb he carries.
Alright, thanks for the chat.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
Now, back to the war room. Okay, so here we are at the war table, and as you can see, we have a ton of quests and stuff to do here now. So, before we choose our main quest, let's actually go to some of these side quests here. Like, for example, we have one, a memorial for Haven. Ambassador Montilier, although we have not always seen eye to eye, I believe that on this subject we will be in perfect agreement. I would like to build a monument at the site where Haven stood as a memorial to all those who gave their lives defending the faith. Shall we work together to honor these fallen heroes, Madam Ambassador? From Marquis de Reliant. Josephine says, I can do some fundraising for the project and we should send a representative for the ribbon cutting. 100%, absolutely. Please go ahead and do that. What else do we have? We got Doreen's request. Now that you're in charge, there's something I thought I'd bring up. There are Venatori mages out there lurking in the wilderness. This comes as no surprise to you, since you can't swing a dead cat without hitting one of Corypheus's minions, but these particular Venatori have additional significance to myself. For one, I know them personally. I would call them friends, except that would imply I didn't want them dead, which I do. Since I have an idea of where they might be, thanks to an investigation I began before coming south, I thought we could put our heads together and track them down. At which point, they would sneer something at you and Tevinter, and you would be forced to kill them. Which makes everyone happy. You for eliminating a potential threat, me for eliminating men and women too stupid and short-sighted to be permitted continued breath. They would be less happy, but who cares about them? Up to you, my Lady Inquisitor. And I'm going to send Liliana on this one. She says, let us look into this carefully and quietly. We do not wish to alert the Venatori to our awareness of their existence. And that sounds logical to me, so we'll put Liliana on the case. What else do we have around here? Maybe conscript for the Inquisition? Well, that settles it. We face a Darkspawn Magister who commands something that looks suspiciously like an Archdemon. I defy anyone to tell me that this is no blight. We have Blackwall's treaties, and we have cause. Thedas will require little persuasion, says Josephine. And Colin says, we need to bolster our forces. Let me conscript more soldiers. I think that's probably a good idea. We need to defend our new base of operations, so let's see if we can get some people to come join us.
All right.
I'll leave that to you, Cullen. And then for us, we get to choose our next main quest if we want to find the Warden, or if we want to go to the Masquerade Ball in Orlais. Seeing as I'm already over here on the Ferelden side, I kind of just want to go ahead and do that one, so let's see. Hawke has revealed that Corypheus can influence the minds of Grey Wardens. If the Darkspawn brings him under his sway, he'll command a legion of highly skilled warriors. The Inquisition must hunt down Hawke's Grey Warden ally, who's hiding in Crestwood, to learn about the other Wardens' plans. No one has traveled to or from Crestwood since the breach, and Liliana will send her fastest agents to discover what disaster has rendered it silent. Alright, you do you, girl. A hastily scrawled note received by messenger bird. Inquisitor, Hawke's warden friend is somewhere here. Disappeared before we could talk to him. He's good. Be careful on the road. There's lots of undead. People here need our help. Explain more once you're here. From Scout Harding. And a new area is now unlocked. Would you like to gather your party and venture to Crestwood now? I sure would. Let's go.
Good to see you safe, Inquisitor. We've got trouble ahead.
What is it?
Are the Red Templars here?
There's a few up in the hills, but for once, they're not our biggest problem.
What is?
Oh, what is that? Is there a breach in the water?
Oh.
Crestwood was the site of a flood 10 years ago during the Blight. It's not the only rift in the area, but after it appeared, corpses started walking out of the lake.
Great.
You'll have to fight through them to get to the cave where Sir Hawke's Grey Warden friend is hiding.
We never meet anywhere nice.
I wish we could get better acquainted, Harding. When the dead aren't rising around us, perhaps?
The world would crumble to dust before you ran out of ills to fight. Maybe someone in Crestwood can tell you how to get to the rift in the lake. Maker knows they'll want help. Good luck, and please be safe.
Alright guys, well we're definitely gonna have to deal with that giant rift in the lake that's causing undead to come out of there. Also we're gonna have to track down our Grey Warden friend. I'm sure there will be lots of stuff for us to do here in this new area, but we will call it a day for today's episode for now. We explored a whole lot, talked to a lot of characters, read a whole lot of lore, so I'm sure there's tons for you guys to digest. So let's call it a day there. We'll pick up next time with some adventuring. Thank you all so much for watching today's episode, and hopefully I'll see you guys back here again really soon.